I'm Shrey Sankal.
And I'm Abhivyakti Sengar.
We are from the Media and PR Committee of IIM Raipur.
Welcome to the Annual Analytics Symposium, SYNCHRONOS.
I'd like to welcome our guests. Our guests include Dr. Ankit Chaudhary, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science from the University of Missouri.
Mr. Mukesh, Saharan, Director Analytics Consulting and Deliver Practice, Bridge I2I Analytics.
Mr. Kartik, Patel, Head Analytics, LexisNexis Risk Solution.
So let's begin the interview.
The first question I'd like to pose to our guests is, could you tell us about an instance from your experience where big data and analytics helped solve a problem that could otherwise not have been solved using traditional methods?
So basically, from my experience, there are multiple examples I can quote. And as I lead consumer practice at Bridge I2I, my examples could be specific to that industry, but feel free to add. So, for example, starting from sales, right? So sales is one vertical in consumer packaged goods, which is very, very important. So it's very important to be able to forecast what is going to be the sales for my different regions, different distributors. Being able to get right data at different level is very, very important, right? To that's just a starting point. Now, once you forecast that, it's important to really have the right level of inventory for each of those stores, again by geographies, by categories for each of these CPG companies. Also, it's very important to correlate some of these performances by some of the kind of investments you do, right? In promo effectiveness or marketing or even effectiveness of your salespeople, right? As once you have all of these sales data at one place, there are so many things that you can do, right? Sales forecasting, optimization of inventory, understanding the performance of the salespeople, understanding the performance of your company by different geographies. Just for example, right? That's from the sales side. Similarly, you can do not many things in the marketing side, being able to really optimize your spend from different channels you are making, right? Really, I'm able to understand different kind of customers profiling, right? Or personalize the products for them. Many of, or in fact, most of these problems probably we will not be able to solve if we did not have ample amount of good quality data from these companies today.
Yeah, I agree. And at LexisNexis Risk Solutions, we are currently working on setting up some contributory big data solutions where insurance companies contribute their policyholders' data and claims data, so that insurance industry as a whole can have one single big data where we can link all the customers to understand their claims history and policy history and prevent fraudulent customers from entering into the books of insurance companies. And so this is one application of big data which otherwise cannot be solved. The other application is that because now you have a sheer volume of data, you can create risk segments which are granular but at the same time credible, and that was earlier not possible. So earlier you could have done an analysis, let's say at a Mumbai level or Maharashtra level. Now you can do an analysis at a Pune level or Raipur level or even a smaller city level because you have enough volume of data for each segment. So these are, I think, some of the examples.
Yes, so there have been few applications which were difficult to find out. For example, there was some text in the Shakespeare novel which people were suspecting having different pattern, and who has written it? Probably the same person or somebody who was working with that. Now, in last 2 years, there have been some structure, and they have used all the text written by the author and have used that information and process it to find out the pattern that his text is having and the pattern that suspicious text is having similar or not. So big data has brought that old mystery to an end, and they know now that who has written that, the same person, author. And similarly, in commercial applications like oil industry, we need to see what is the oil and what will be the level of oil, what kind of pattern is there. If we have data from different oil wells or the ground where oil may be, so a company like Harlington, they have big investment in big data and ML. So they are collecting patterns, headquartered in Houston. So they are collecting information, and they are checking what kind of data and pattern help them, and based on that, they are making business decisions.
The next question is, while large pools of data are crucial to all industries, what industry do you feel benefits from the data revolution the most?
That's a difficult question because in our experience, I think it's difficult to really quantify which industry is benefiting the most because every industry is trying to be the leader in this, right? For example, at Breeze I2I, we are focusing on 4 different verticals, right? First one is Watchtower, right? Being able to really help at different levels, finding the anomalies in the data, finding the different patterns in the data automatically, and kind of create some kind of inferences why these anomalies are occurring. Right? Now, can I kind of associate that this particular problem exists only in CPC? Answer is no. We are using that for financial services. We are using that for high tech. We are using for e-commerce, right? So that is one example. We are also focusing on, let's say, recommendation engines, right? Now, being able to recommend something, right? In case of e-commerce, I might be able to recommend next best product. Take an example of Amazon, right? In case of CPG, I might be able to recommend what is the optimized distribution you need to keep in each store, right? You can't keep all your SKUs there, right? In case of FSI, I should be able to recommend, let's say, take an insurance, which insurance policy is more personalized to certain individual by understanding his demographics, right? In case of some high tech, right, I should be able to recommend what is the right time to do prevent maintenance, right, of the manufacturing plants that we do. So these are 2 examples that I gave. There are 2 more, like optimization and conversion, right? All of these capabilities are used differently in different industries, but I think each industry is benefiting as much as they can. Right? If you guys want to,
I would say that probably the industries or the companies who are inventing these technologies. So the cloud companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, and e-commerce companies, because otherwise their business would not have been possible. So it is based on the assumption that they have good big data platforms available. And there is a huge potential for the banking industry to benefit, because if you imagine the banking transactions that are taking place every second or every minute, there is a huge potential for banking industry. However, I would not say that they are leveraging it as much as maybe the e-commerce players or the cloud companies are leveraging it.
Well, I would say, in addition to that, that data industry is an industry in itself. Like security is everywhere, data is everywhere, and there are many companies which outsource their services, a specific company, to data analytics and data engineering. And if you look for an industry which got a weapon in terms of data, I would say that is politics. They have many things to collect, not officially, but in a systematic way, where they were getting opinions before. Now they get data before, and based on data they get demographic information, and they are using it everywhere. We have seen this in 2016 president election. So there have been other cases which you would be knowing about the data companies everywhere.
So politics is an industry.
Is most benefited industry.
I'd like to follow up on that previous question. There's obviously a very human touch to big data analytics, but is it possible that human touch can be completely eliminated in the near future and the entire process be automated?
No, in my opinion.
no, so human interferences will always be required. It's my feeling, right? Because you always want to customize it to your requirement, right? I think analytics today doesn't solve all the problems that we can think of, right? Having said that, by no means I'm saying automation will not happen. Significant amount of automation is happening, but I think we need significant more automation, right? And always a different problem requires different kind of context, and because it requires different context, it requires different frameworks, and to be able to give that picture to that framework or customize it to your need, you will always need little bit of customization or human touch to it.
Yeah, so the operational aspects are being or can be automated in a longer run, but the strategic aspect or the aspects where you really need to make a decision as to choose between which technique to use or which algorithm to use or what to do, that is long way ahead.
I can quote an example here. For example, you can significantly automate, and we have developed a solution called as a commercial investment optimizer for CPG organizations. Right? We have significantly automated the optimization. However, the strategic piece that KV were talking about is still not there, because I really do not know what is your strategy for next year, right? And for that, what we do is basically we allow consumers or users of our platforms to put that strategic piece into it. For example, whatever you spend on TV next year, my algorithm might recommend that you move 10% from this to retail, digital. However, your strategy might be that stick to retail TV for a couple of more years. Now, tactical or database recommendations might not be able to overtake strategy initiatives as of now today, right? And that's where you override whatever models are recommending.
I completely agree with that. Human, I mean, the engineers or the scientists need machine to work for them to give decisions. They will not allow to take over, as we have seen in many movies also. The human touch is very much required to take a decision if you are running an industry or if you are taking a decision. Even I will not allow any machine to take decision about me because they are not having the emotional feeling. They may have a better brain than the human, better thinking process than human, but it would be a very difficult thing for me to accept the decision taken by a machine every time. Maybe sometimes it's working well, sometimes I'm not liking it. So I would not be able to justify things to the machine, and it would be very difficult for human to follow the machine. So till the decision makers, it is fine.
Has been very enlightening. I'd like to ask you if there's any advice you could give to aspiring analytics enthusiasts out there.
So I'm assuming because we are sitting in an MBA school today, I'm kind of taking the liberty that this question is specific to MBA students, right? Because my question could differ based on the profile of students, right? I think there are a few advices I would have. First one is, I think when they go into the industry, I think they should go with the open mindset. Open mindset basically means ability to think about solving the problems rather than putting constraints that this is what I will do, this is what I will not do. Which goes back to when I was hearing from some of the insights from students that, hey, you know what, like MBAs are grads who will basically take the management roles, right? I think when you become managers, your responsibility increases even more, which basically means you need to take accountability. And if anything that needs for that accountability, you need to do. For example, if you need to kind of learn some kind of algorithms, you need to put efforts to do that. If you need to code a little bit, absolutely you should accept that fact. On top of that, you should lead it from the front, which basically means facing the client. Not only when the project is going well, but also the day project is falling apart, right? Because you are actually taking the leadership role, right? So I'll summarize it. You should own the project, face the client, and be technically good.
Yeah, I would say that do not ignore statistics. So there is a saying that those who ignore statistics are condemned to reinvent it. So machine learning is okay, but as an MBA students, you have an opportunity to learn at least business statistics and regression modeling in your curriculum. So learn that well. Learn coding, at least learn SQL. It will give you a way and language to think and develop some algorithmic thinking or problem solving ability. Rest of the coding skills or machine learning techniques, etc., you can develop later on in your stage. Not be able to earn the respect of your team members because you are directly eyeing to become a manager. You can't become a leader without earning the respect of your team.
So I would like to add that from a classroom, when you are going to industry, you must be prepared with everything, whatever possible you can have, the technical tools, and you should analyze what is the market that time. And we should also realize that market change, at least in computer science, every 5 years. So whatever was needed 5 years back is not needed now, and after 5 years, I'm not sure what is going to happen. So the person who is in the industry as a new joinee or at the junior management position should be ready with the attitude that I need to learn more things and I need to learn anything. Suppose currently you are working in a banking industry and you are getting a better package from oil industry. Now the domain is very different. Your profile may be same. Based on your domain, you have to apply many different tricks and techniques, probably the same algorithm, but domain would be different. So be ready that any challenge can come to you and you should be ready to change yourself accordingly.
Lastly, how was your experience at IIM Raipur?
It's great. The campus is coming up very nicely.
Yeah. No, I think hospitality shown by the group was very appreciative. The thing is, I think campus, as you said, campus is coming out really, really well. Make sure that you guys encourage more greenery here. Recommended based on our experience in Bangalore and Bombay. Right? I think people asked really, really intelligent questions, I would say. I have a feeling some of them came really well prepared, which was very a good feeling for us, right? We probably were not expecting that the level of preparation they will come with, but that was a surprise, but good surprise for us. Yeah.
Well, I found the campus is big enough and you have enough places to roam around. I mean, I will not talk about classes because most of the time I'm there. The campus is very good in terms of buildings, facilities, library which is coming, auditorium which is coming. Atmosphere is very exciting about the academic culture and toward the industry interaction. And such kind of events which you are organizing is wonderful and will help the students in growing academically, and to when they are going into industry, they would be having at least some basic idea of what they have to do and what they should feel when they are going into industry.
Yeah. And use your library well. Yeah. Don't get into the habit of watching videos on some MOOC websites and doing Kaggle competition. Books are your best friends if you want to make a career in that sense.
And believe in continuous learning, even after you get into the industry. Right? I think in today's world, as Professor rightly said, I think not only computer science, I think industry changes every 5 years. Trust me, what I used to do 5 years back is not more relevant. If I do not learn new things, I become irrelevant. And if you become irrelevant, industry will not be able to respect you, right? Yeah. So, all the whoever is there in the industry, doesn't mean nobody can survive there without learning. So, be open to learning. The good news is there's enough amount of information on the web today that you can even learn sitting in the house in the night. Yes. Right? So, good days ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. This has been great, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you for having us.